Welcome to the Poolway Podcast.
Nope.
Welcome to the Public Pool Podcast. We used to have a podcast called the Poolway Podcast. It's real. It is hard. It is hard.
Try again, my friend.
Welcome to the Public Pool Podcast. Do you want to do the intro?
No, you got it, my king.
I'm Jack.
Yep.
And this is Michaela.
Yep. Very good.
She's okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
A lot of stuff to discuss this week.
I know. I kind of.
A lot of news. Isn't it weird? Like the inauguration's like around the corner.
Yeah. But I feel like it's been in like limbo since like New Year's. Like, you know, like those weird days between Christmas and New Year's.
They don't exist.
They don't exist. It's shockingly long.
It's a long.
Every time.
It's 6 days.
You're like, oh, New Year's is like a day or two after Christmas. No,
Yeah.
It's like days.
Yeah, in my head, if Christmas is on Monday, then New Year's is Thursday.
Yes.
And it's like, no, it's Sunday.
And it's like, I have like, it's like that weird looming, like something's going to happen, but like not yet. And we're just like waiting for it to happen.
Yeah.
Type of thing. And that's how like basically election day to inauguration day feels.
But the difference is like for the New Year's thing, that feeling of like, oh, something's going to happen. You're right. It's not true. Stuff is about to happen.
Stuff is going to happen.
Like they're doing the like,
the congressional hearings.
Congressional hearings.
Uh-huh.
What is that? Yeah, right? The congressional hearings?
Yeah, or just hearings. Senate hearings.
They're bringing all of Trump's people in and, you know, it's the same bullshit of the Republicans are tossing the softballs and the Democrats are being like, now you tweeted this 45 years ago about the color red. What? So you don't like the color red? You know, that's our flag color, right?
Yeah, that's very un-American of you.
And then they'll say, well, and they go, yes or no question. It's a yes. And it's like, it's crazy.
It was an interesting. I feel like no one was going to get through, and I feel like finally they're just like, okay, like fucking whatever.
Can I toss out because I just thought of this. Can I toss out it's not a sports gossip, but a sports analogy.
Okay.
That I was thinking about. So
what? You were thinking about a sports analogy?
Always. Harry Potter, always. You wouldn't get that because you don't know Potter.
I don't know Potter like that because
you know the Potterhead.
I had friends.
You did, yeah. Well, I had surgeries and I would read them when I was on painkillers recovering.
Also, you have way more friends than I ever had.
Kind of. I mean, we can get into that too, of the what women describe as friends. Like your standards for what is a friend are so much higher.
Well, because I feel like women's friendships are like so strong that it's like, if it's not like boom, it's like, oh, I know them.
Yeah. I forget half of my friends, like girlfriends' names. Wives, I get it down. I'm like, I can't forget his wife's name.
Yeah,
this is
can't forget a
permanent.
wife.
I got no idea the rest of them. But anyway, here's a sports analogy.
Okay.
When you're rooting for a team, when you're a diehard fan of a team, you hate other teams. You hate your team's rivals. You also hate other players. Mm-hmm. So basically, my thought is when you're like the opposite political party of you gets elected, it's interesting to me how we don't like respond to that. Like the way that it feels like you should respond to it is like, all right, well, I hated him before and I still don't really like him now, but he's on my team.
I'm hoping he's going to do a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have two examples for you. Okay. One is because the answer is there is a limit. And so the Cleveland Browns, they signed Deshaun Watson. Cleveland fans hate Deshaun Watson. He was credibly accused of a lot of
bad things.
It's too early in the podcast for me to say words that could get it blocked, but
you can Google it.
You can Google it.
And I'm sure you've heard of it.
Some crimes and misdemeanors in not like cool crimes and misdemeanors. No. Which there are a lot of cool.
There are a lot of cool crimes.
Some stuff's cool.
That's not a very cool crime he's done. No.
And he's done it many times. They don't like him now. What the thing is too, let's be honest. And if any of your friends are Cleveland Browns fans, you have to call them out and be like, if he was really, really good and you guys won Super Bowls, you guys would be defending him and saying that none of the accusations had any merit. There were anonymous smears. But he sucks and he cost $1 bajillion and he set the Browns franchise. And also his crimes were so bad. Browns fans immediately were like, boo, we hate this.
Yeah.
But then you have like Terrell Owens. Have you ever heard of Terrell Owens?
No, never.
He went by T.O. In the 2000s, like late 90s to like early 2010s maybe. I forget the span, but in the 2000s for sure. He was probably the best wide receiver of the 2000s. No, Randy Moss would be. He was in top three. Sorry. He was top three. Really big deal. He was very divisive though. So if he wasn't on your team, you hated him.
Okay.
He played for the Eagles and he was really good in the Eagles, and the Eagles are rivals with the Cowboys. And when he was on the 49ers too, there was a famous incident where he scored a touchdown and he ran to the center of the Cowboys thing. Basically, the Cowboys hated him.
Okay.
But then they signed him and everybody's a T.O. fan now.
Yeah.
And it just feels like politics. Like I feel like whether you're a Democrat or Republican, it should be somewhere in between that.
It should be like, oh, I didn't vote for this person. I don't like this person or whatever. But I'm hoping that they do a good job because otherwise you're the one who faces the repercussions of that.
They're the quarterback of your team. I don't like Aaron Rodgers, but if the Giants signed Aaron Rodgers, I would not shut up about how he's actually better than Brady.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't shut up about it.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to me how that works, where it's like for some reason the other side for both parties is always Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I mean, he's probably closer to T.O. Like he's an asshole, but he's hopefully we win with him.
Yeah.
You know?
I know. Do you think Mr. Trump is going to save TikTok?
Well, did you see TikTok said on Sunday? So if the Supreme Court doesn't intervene,
it gets pushed back like 9 months or something like that, right?
Yeah, they basically want the courts to basically say like, no, we're delaying this.
Yeah, we're kicking the can down the road.
If they don't intervene, what usually happens when an app gets banned is the app stores just don't let you download anymore.
Yeah.
If you have TikTok on your phone, it stays in your phone. You can still use TikTok. You just can't update your phone usually because...
Yeah, I was going to say I need to update my phone before it gets banned because I've been like not updating my phone because everyone had that update that everyone didn't like.
Yeah.
And I've not updated my phone because it was like consensus says.
There also isn't really a reason. Like Apple... all their updates, there's no more like, whoa.
Yeah. And they just kind of make everything more complicated now.
This one really made everything stupider.
Yeah. So I'm not looking forward to it, but I might make the sacrifice for TikTok.
Yeah.
Because if I don't have TikTok, what's a girl to do?
If you don't have TikTok, what are you going to watch when you're watching TV?
I don't know.
Isn't that the truest thing?
I know. Well, because I basically went from like a lot of my time was on Twitter. And then I got off of Twitter because it like got so negative and everything. And then I took a break and I never went back.
What's funny is you got off Twitter pre-Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Like years before that.
Had nothing to do with Elon. I just was like, I'm fighting with people online. Why am I fighting with people?
I like to start my day with a good dose of Twitter, get really upset.
Like, and that's what was happening. And I was like, I was like depressed. But I also used to get like all of my news and like, it used to be a really funny platform. Like I felt like everything on there was so funny. That was on my feed at least. And so I basically replaced my Twitter doom scrolling with TikTok doom scrolling. And I also now get my news and funny stuff from TikTok. And so I'm like, ugh, now what? Am I going to have to go to Reels?
Maybe.
YouTube #shorts.
I mean, YouTube and Instagram and Facebook are just like jonesing.
I know.
Right now. They're like, oh yeah. We're going to get all their... It's not going to work that well.
If anything, I think it'll be like what happened to Vine. And I'm kind of crossing my fingers for it because I liked this era better. When Vine shut down, everyone went to YouTube. Like all these Viners became YouTubers and long form content became popular again. It went from 6 seconds to people uploading like 10 minutes to 30-minute vlogs.
Yeah.
And that's what was popular. People were making long videos.
Yeah.
And people could sit there and watch. And so I'm like, I kind of want that to come back.
I mean, that would be really interesting. I mean, I would love for long form content to be more popular.
Yeah. Besides like a podcast form, it's like the only
long
popular. Yeah.
Although now there's like a bunch of like, basically a bunch of like, because Piers Morgan's the big one where he's crushing it on YouTube of just like the amount of views he gets he just does his Piers Morgan show, but just him and some people, like some crew or whatever, and they get millions of views on 1.5-hour videos every day. It's like they're just swimming in it. They're making more money than I'm sure they would make at Sky
on
News.
TV.
Yeah. But anyway, on Sunday, TikTok said if the Supreme Court doesn't intervene, we're just going dark. TikTok's over.
Yeah.
And I think they're basically playing hardball.
Yeah.
Being like, if that just happens, you're going to have the youth of your entire country lose their shit at you.
Yes.
So,
because it's an addiction. I'm jonesing for some TikTok.
It's a slot machine.
Absolutely.
Trust me, I've played slot machines where it's really hard to step away because the next one's going to be. It's the exact same dopamine hit.
Yes. I know. I would start making like a note on my phone of like things I can do when TikTok shuts down, and I was like, get a hobby, read a book.
These are very general things.
Watch a Timothée Chalamet movie.
Which book? Which hobby?
I don't know. I have to figure that
out.
Which
Timothée Chalamet movie?
Wonka.
I do that.
I'm going to start with Wonka. I haven't seen a Timothée Chalamet movie. I'm going to start with Wonka. Nobody can stop me. I'm going to form all my judgment on him for Wonka.
Wonka is either I'm not positive, but I know it's one of the other. It's either the best one to start with or the worst one to start with.
I know. Well, he has so many other artsy movies, so I'm like, maybe I should start with Wonka.
You should start with Dune. You would love Dune.
Oh, girl, you know I would love Dune.
You're a Duner.
Such a Dooner.
You'd love to Dune shit.
God, who watches Dune?
A lot of people.
I know a lot of people watch Dune, but not for me.
A lot of people who like having.
I like the music, kind of.
I haven't heard the music.
It just, I don't know, it just kind of sounds like cool noises. Just one of those.
I mean, have you heard 9 Inch Nails? That's basically what they are.
Yeah. I can't stop looking at myself in the thing. I feel pale and ugly today. I'm having one of those. I can't speak either.
Yeah.
I'm untalented. I'm unsmart.
Go on. Continue.
I'm ugly. Okay. Well, what else can I complain about? My skin doesn't feel super good right now.
Mm-hmm.
I probably need an upper lip wax.
Mm-hmm.
My hair isn't clean, but I was like, I'm wearing headphones, so it's fine.
So it's fine.
So that's fine. So that's not on like the top of my list of complaints. Okay, what else?
So my answer to all of this is yes, you're right. No, I'm kidding.
I'm having an ugly day. That's
Baby,
how
you
I
look
feel.
fucking, you look fucking gorgeous. You look fucking gorgeous. That's the, you know, I've always thought about this too. It's like, because I'm the same way about certain things of you take such good care of yourself and you have such a routine.
Yeah.
That if one thing is off, you're like, the car isn't running how it's supposed to.
I know. I just like haven't been hitting my stride lately.
Yeah.
With like things lining up or
Maybe
anything.
you peaked. Maybe it's over.
Don't say that.
I'm kidding.
Because I'm concerned it's the gym that's making me not look so good.
Stop.
I am. So don't get me started.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think with
I'm afraid that like maybe I'm like raising certain levels with like, because we're
hormones and stuff?
Yeah, like we're lifting weights, and because I'm like, my skin has gotten terrible since we started going to the gym.
Yeah.
And that's a very frustrating thing in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the base of it. But I don't know. I'm not going to complain. Sorry, this isn't a good.
No, this is actually, I actually think this is the most, one of the more interesting segments. It's like saying like your insecurities and whatnot.
Yeah, no, I keep having like, just like moments where I'm like, okay, it's a shoot day. And all of a sudden I'm like, ugh, everything I did, all my prep stuff I did is like, it's over.
Not.
Like my nails are grown out. I need to wax my eyebrows again. I need a fresh tan. Like I need this and that. Like all of a sudden the second I get in front of the camera, it's like all those are gone for some reason. And I'm like, shoot.
Meanwhile,
and all my makeup right now is like expiring. So everything's turning like orange.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I edit a lot of our stuff, and every single time, no matter how insecure or confident you are, you look great. So I don't.
Thank you.
But then, you know what? That's the difference though between, this is one of the things where it's like, it's the difference between how we think about things. And there's not one strategy that's right, but basically when you have your plan or system of doing stuff, and when something goes wrong, you basically look for, okay, what did I do extra this time that I have to cut out? Like maybe it's working out. Okay, we got to get rid of that, or change this makeup, or just change your shampoo, and that seems to have really worked.
Yes, that's a positive in my life, guys. I've gone back to drugstore shampoo and conditioner.
By the way, your solution to a lot of stuff is to subtract things. My solution is more to, okay, so this is my system and something's going wrong. Don't even look at what I'm doing. Forget all of the things that could be costing us. What's an additional thing I can add to my system to treat what's going wrong?
I should get a BBL, is what you're saying.
No, no. I mean, if you really want to, but I wouldn't like it.
Would you still love me if I got a BBL?
The other day you asked me if you still had a gecko when we started dating.
Oh,
do you think we would be together? And I was like, are you fucking kidding? Yeah, that's.
I don't know.
That's not.
You get creeped out by little critters, I feel like.
Not as much by lizards.
Okay. If they have legs, they're fine.
Like
but not too many legs. Can't be spider.
You could have one, maybe two spiders in some sort of terrarium, and it would not have been a deal. If you were like, I'm a spider girl, it wouldn't have been like I look at you differently.
Are you saying I can get a spider?
No, we live together now, and we're married, so the statute of limitations has expired. If you had a spider, I would not have been like, get rid of the spider.
All I'm saying is that everyone keeps duping me out of getting a spider.
Your whole life.
My whole life. I wanted, and I was like 3 or 4. I wanted a tarantula.
Yeah.
And my mom talked me into getting a gecko. So that's how I ended up. And geckos live much longer than you think they do.
Yeah.
They live to be like 30.
Yeah.
I got mine as like he was an adult already. But and he lasted until I was like 18 or 19. So he was with me like most of my life. And so I just had that terrarium animal. And then eventually I moved in with you.
Yeah.
I guess I'd fished for a minute in between you and
Yeah, but that was
kind of
random.
Yeah. But so now I can't get a tarantula?
Well, think about it. A few years ago, you wanted a baby. So I the way I think about things, I added a puppy.
Yeah, you gave me a puppy.
And then a couple years after that, you wanted a baby. And so I like to add things to fix.
So
I got you another puppy.
Another puppy.
And now we're married. And so the next time you want a baby, we'll probably just have a baby.
Yeah.
But before then I was like, no, like we're so close to getting married.
I know.
Let's just wait a little bit. I really want you to drink on our wedding night.
Yeah.
I want you to have fun.
Baby's not stopping me. I'm just kidding.
If I have to sneak a cig, I have to sneak a cig.
If I have to sneak, oh my God.
Oh my God.
If no one saw me do it, did I even do it?
Did we even do it?
Oh my God.
Did you also see FDA, they banned red dye 3?
Really?
Which so I mean, it was like, okay, so what's in that? Like what?
Horrible. I feel like all the
Oh, it's made from petroleum. It's literally how did that pass the FDA? Here's a food product made from the thing that makes gasoline in plastic.
Yeah. Although, I mean, I love like a Vaseline and then.
True, but you're not eating it.
Unless I'm.
You know what I mean? Do you eat it sometimes? Why would you eat it?
No, I don't eat it. But sometimes if I'm sick.
Yeah.
Like.
You put it in your nose.
I'll like take like a little like to like coat my throat.
Is that okay? Real quick, is that like a thing you thought of, or
I heard that one of my great uncles did it when I was like a kid, and so that's just always kind of stuck with me. And so every time I've like had like a really like sore throat where I'm desperate, I'll swallow a little bit of Vaseline to coat these.
So before you stop exercising because of these issues, maybe let's stop eating the petroleum.
I don't.
And we'll see.
I haven't done it in a while. I haven't been sick in a while. Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. Yeah, I just think I'm sure you're fine.
I'm here.
I think you're not eating it as much as people are constantly having red dye 3.
Yeah.
Which it turns out, by the way, not as many things have red dye 3 as you'd think, because there's also red dye 40.
Yeah,
and
red 40 is the big one.
I assume that there's red 1 through 900 too.
I believe so. And they also have blues and yellows.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm allergic to orange. Yeah, but
you're right.
It's mostly in like upholstery. Like I wouldn't actually get a reaction.
It's like the fabric coloring. So don't eat a chair.
I can't eat a chair.
Not even if your throat hurts. Don't eat the chair.
It won't coat it.
Interesting. Yeah.
Candy corn's gone though, but Hawaiian punch is fine. That was the summary.
Do you think is RFK just gonna come in and be like, all the shit's gone?
You're poison.
He's gonna take it all away from us.
Red dye 40 is poison. Yeah, he probably will.
I know he is. He's gonna be like Michelle Obama on crack when she took she basically was just like healthy school lunches are a thing now.
God, that'd be so. Okay, I got a question.
Okay.
Say I became the president. You're first lady.
Yes.
There's a meeting that happens, I assume, before you go into the White House, but it's just like hey, here's a general meeting. Mm-hmm. And basically the certain staff say, okay, you're the first lady. What do you want to be the thing?
Like what's your issue?
What's the thing that you're going to do the next 4 years? Your husband's going to be dealing with the world.
Do you remember what Melania's was?
Orphan Polish children. What?
Cyberbullying.
Love it. Love it. And you know what? It's done.
She ended cyberbullying.
People aren't mean online anymore.
No, go off, queen.
Especially children. They're not mean to each other on the internet.
No. So what would my issue be? Is this a legit question? What would my issue be?
What would it be?
It would be non-violent drug offenders, probably getting out of jail, prison reform stuff, something like that.
Yeah. I feel like that's been kind of done though.
I feel like they focus a lot on the children.
What do you mean?
Like the first ladies.
No, yeah, but I'm saying like I feel like the non-violent drug offenders. I feel like there's a whole movement with that. Like what do you?
I guess.
Whereas like cyberbullying is still like 2005.
Yeah, don't flame me online.
Yeah, it was like AIM and MySpace.
Because it's like that's more of like if I had like $1 million tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or I guess more than $1 million. I'd need a lot of money. But it's like what would my issue be? I've always been like something with
non-violent drug offenders.
Non-violent drug offenders and like reducing their sentences, like unless they obviously got like a general sentence, but like the people who are doing life for nonviolent drug offenses are crazy.
No, nuts. Yeah. Especially possession.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Like
there is a certain limit of like, okay, so you didn't have a gun, but you were dealing heroin. Mm-hmm. Like, you have to put those things in place.
Yeah. No, it's.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just think there's just a system to be fixed.
There's a system. I'm trying to think what I would be if I was the first.
If you're the first gentleman.
Yeah. I think I would basically put something where it's like impossible. And I'd be like,
you kidding? You hate charity.
I do hate charity. No, I don't. I hate a lot of charity organizations. They're scams.
You would want to be the face of Susan G. Komen.
I don't want to be anywhere near Susan G. Komen and the 98% that they spend on advertising and overhead. And then they give
zero research.
Then they give the what?
Like zero research.
Oh, they give 2% of what you give. If you give them $1, 2 cents goes to research.
Yeah.
98% goes to paying for the ad, paying for the ad that got you. And so you can, it's so easy to justify that stuff though if you're them, because you're like, well, we are giving it.
Yeah.
And we are making more money by having these ads.
The awareness, like there are arguments for certain amounts, but
certainly
not that much.
Well, there was a big Democratic scandal though, for the fires, because, obviously everybody's like, whenever stuff like that happens, it's like, hey, donate to, here are the different charities, donate stuff. And basically all the Democrat spokespeople and politicians or whatever, they all basically tweeted out like, this is the link, donate here. Mm-hmm. But the link went through Act Blue, which is their organization.
Okay.
And when you donate, great. The money does go to these charities, but they take a 5% fee, which basically funds the Democratic Party. Yeah. Whereas like the stuff was all going to Red Cross, and it's like if you give it to Red Cross, Red Cross is I think the one where it's like, no, it's the opposite. 2% goes to overhead.
Yeah.
They don't have to advertise because they're so good. People are like, give it to the fucking Red Cross.
The Red Cross, yeah.
98% goes to the people. So there was just sort of like a little mini scandal where it was like,
you're a Red Cross baddie now.
I'm a Red Cross baddie.
Because you got that universal blood donation.
I know. O positive.
O pos.
It's good.
It's good to be king. You're saving lives out here.
It's good to feel needed.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
You know what? They do keep calling you. They're like, please come back.
They won't shut up about it.
I know.
Even though sometimes
they're kind of being desperate.
They're being a little bit desperate.
They're being a little desperate. Like, girl.
Blood donation places, play harder to get. Neg me a little bit.
Yeah, then maybe I'll come.
Like if Red Cross texts me and they're like, we don't even want your blood. I think I'd book an appointment. Yeah. I do. You said you don't want it? Fine, it's here. And they're like, okay, I guess.
Fine.
And then they're all laughing.
Yeah. They're like, got him.
Yeah, got him.
Yeah. Last time you got a free t-shirt last time.
I think I would be like for my first gentleman thing.
Uh-huh.
I think like, we're putting boots on the moon. We're going back. And then anytime anybody, it would be so hard for me. Like, because if I said that I wouldn't say it at the meeting when they're like, here are possibilities. And they obviously try to keep them a little bit smaller, being like, we don't want to spend a ton of time and energy for your project because we have to take care of the world. I think I would tell them like, yeah, just more, take pizza out of lunches like Michelle. I think I would, but the second I go up to give the speech, I'm just forget everything in the meeting, let them deal with it afterwards.
Yeah.
We're going to the moon, boots on the moon, 2028. Done. Put that in the bank.
Yeah.
And then
they all have to shuffle to figure out how that's going to happen because it's worse if you lied.
Yeah, we got to make some progress.
Yeah.
And then every time people they're always like, Melania, what are you wearing? Or who are you wearing or whatever? Or like, what are you going to do for Christmas? I assume they would only ask me about the moon because it's so lavish.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, how's the moon progress going? I go, oh, it's going.
Yeah.
We're close.
Did you ever have moon boots as a kid?
I feel like, yeah. Is that the one where there's sort of trampoline shoes?
Yeah, they're like trampoline shoes.
It wasn't as good as...
No, they were really loud too. Because they were like plastic. So like clunk, clunk, clunk when you walked.
Yeah. Shockingly, the moon boot...
Man, but I had fun. I'd just sit there and I'd bounce in my room.
Did you ever have those shoes? They were like running shoes for a while where basically they looked like there were springs in them. Do you remember those?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But there weren't actually springs.
No,
they just looked like them.
They're just for looks.
Because as a kid, like who doesn't know a ton about physics, I'm like, well, yeah, why don't we put springs in our shoes?
Yeah. That's the obvious solution, no?
What if I just fill my shoes up with helium?
Yeah. You also, this week, you picked up some Duolingo.
Yes, I'm picking Latin back up.
the most useful language in the world.
Yeah.
For you to learn.
Yeah. Ita. Yeah. That means yes in Latin.
Okay.
So.
The dead language.
It's not dead.
It's dead.
I'm keeping it alive.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I took Latin in school, and every time I've been like, I'm gonna try another language, I'm like, it's a whole. I got to learn a whole new language.
Yeah.
That's exhausting.
I think you should learn Spanish.
I'll tell you why. No, I'll tell you why. I do think in like 5 years, it's gonna be like, oh, you spend all the time learning a language. Now we all have a thing that just everybody's speaking the same.
Yeah.
Like it's auto translation, immediate.
Yeah, but it's more fun.
It's more fun, and also
learn and speak.
Well, I was thinking about this last night too, because I started doing Italian because Italian's the closest to Latin, and I was like, maybe I will go through the Latin, then the closest is Italian, and from Italian, I think probably Spanish is.
Yeah.
And then for Spanish, you can go to Portuguese. I'm going to avoid French altogether. I don't get why people are like, it's a beautiful accent. It's, I think, the worst accent.
I think so too.
There's a whole. No, not for me. Not for anyone but the weird French people.
But you're obsessed with the Duolingo owl.
The Duolingo, it's the cutest thing.
You kept showing me while you're saying it. Be like, look at he's writing down notes. You are obsessed with the animation.
They have an animation this is not an ad for Duolingo, by the way, unless Duolingo wants to pay us. So I'm actually going to really quickly I'm going to neg Duolingo. It's really bad. Don't use it.
Or use it.
Or pay us and I'll say it's good. But Duolingo, they have this cute little mascot. It's the cutest little owl. And when it's like, okay, what's your name? And I type in Jack. And then the little owl nods and then writes something down in his notebook. And that gave me such joy.
I know.
Oh, okay. I got it. And then it looks back up when it gives you the next question. Like it's actually listening to.
He's listening.
And when
Duolingo has a great social media presence.
Oh, they do?
They're like a Wendy's type,
Ooh.
like new era Wendy's type thing where it's like they're really big on TikTok. Like they have been kind of since 2020. Yeah. Like
they give one 20 something hey, just run it like you would run your own social media and it's good. I love that.
I was gonna say there's some kind of some sports news.
Go me what?
Patrick Mahomes and Brittany Mahomes had their third baby.
I did not know this.
She just had it, which I was like, bad timing for this playoffs.
Yeah, true.
But
that's very true.
She's gonna figure it out. I know that. I trust Brittany to figure it out. Do you know? And this is the bridging to our. This is our where we meet.
Yeah.
Do you know Patrick Mahomes' children's names?
No.
What if I told you that they were Bronze, Sterling, and Golden?
You know what? Sterling sounds familiar because I feel like in interviews he said something where he was like, "It reminds me when I was with Sterling." Which, by the way, if you don't know what Patrick Mahomes sounds like, it's that.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, this is Sterling doing this. That upsets me though.
Yeah, and I will say I do give a pass actually to Bronze. Because it's they call him Bronze, but he is technically Patrick Mahomes the third.
Okay,
so
yeah.
Bronze.
Oh, I like that. That's good.
But
that's clever.
and so that's his middle name is Bronze.
I like that.
But they call him Bronze. But so it's he's third, and I think he was the first, maybe. I'm assuming.
I'm assuming if it were unless Sterling's a girl. I'm not sure their genders.
I want to say Sterling's a girl, but I don't know.
Bronze has to be a boy.
Yeah,
that's a boy's
Bronze
name.
has to.
It's too rough.
And then Golden's a girl. I think it should have just gone Goldie.
They probably will.
They'll probably call her Goldie.
Yeah.
But I was like, there's no way Jack's heard the names of these babies.
No, because I'd be upset. Patrick Mahomes, they named their children after precious metals?
I believe for second and third place because he's an athlete.
Sterling, I guess Sterling Silver.
Yeah, Sterling Silver.
So you went?
Yeah.
So they went in reverse order.
Uh-huh.
Well, would the next one be platinum?
A girl can dream.
Maybe
they're done.
Maybe myrrh. Maybe frankincense.
I think
those are spices, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think those are metals. Maybe copper.
Man, copper is just sort of like hey, you know what? No one appreciates you, but you're by far the most expensive for the resale value.
Yeah.
So
with nickel,
Nickel's terrible. Nickel's a terrible. What do you name next one? Tin. You name him Tintin.
Tintin.
I don't like. Yeah, I like having themed names. I don't mind having themed names. Like when we tell people our dogs' names, like, okay, and we say they're Goose and Ducky.
Yeah.
People are like,
But it has stopped because before when it's just goose, people used to be like, oh, goose like Top Gun.
Yes.
And I was like, actually, no.
No.
Goose like the animal.
Goose like the animal. And then with ducky, it's like duck, duck, goose.
Yeah.
I do think that if and when we get our third dog, it's going to be hard for us not to name the third dog Duck something so that we can have duck, duck, and goose.
Yeah. I just figured like a third bird of sorts.
Waterfowl.
Like swan.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. It would be swan.
Because we would want to do girl again because girl dogs are so much chiller.
I only want girl dogs from now on. I'm actually shocked boy dogs exist, just the difference between them. Like,
we love our perfect goose though.
We love goose, but
yeah.
Ducky doesn't bark when somebody walks by 40 feet away from the house.
I know.
Goose, for some reason, is like, I have to protect. It's like, dude, you are 5 pounds. Goose is 5 pounds. I carry him up to bed every night. Speaking of dogs, though.
Okay.
Did you ever learn about the Iditarod? Do you have a subject in
yes.
What do you call it? A section?
Yeah, like a chapter or whatever, a
like
lesson plan.
For the next month, we're learning about. Did you ever have?
Yes, it was like in like 2nd or 3rd grade or something.
It was in 3rd grade for me.
I feel like it was
the Iditarod.
Yeah, and like, why?
People always make the joke like, I thought quicksand was a bigger deal when I was a kid because of cartoons and whatnot. I after 3rd grade, I don't think I've ever heard anything like, and nobody's ever said to me, have you seen the Iditarod? Or did you hear what happened in the Iditarod?
Yeah, it's like not a relevant thing because also it's a sport.
Yeah. Because
it was like part of social studies.
Yes.
Right?
It was like, they were like, now we're going to talk about the Iditarod Alaskan dog race.
Like, why? Yeah, why?
Why? Like, it's never come up. But I think everybody knows about the Iditarod. Yeah. Why would they spend that much time?
Because I remember being like, I'm so into this as a kid. Like, how
could you not?
But like, it makes sense with like the other things we learn like in elementary school where it's like, oh, when you're in kindergarten, they start with like the farm animals. But it's like, they're starting because they're like, hey, the cow has 4 stomachs or whatever. And you're like, ooh, interesting. Animals are built different. Like you're starting to learn ecosystem, like stuff where it's like, this is how the world kind of works. This is life.
But they're also teaching you like, hey, this was what pilgrims are and colonialism. And then like, when did they do the Civil War? I think the Civil War for me was actually like 2nd grade.
Probably.
Which is weird. They teach things to you twice.
Yes.
I've noticed that like.
After a certain age, it goes between like state and like, or it's like world, United States and like state history.
But then we go back to. Like in 4th grade, did you learn about like
I learned about the Titanic that year.
Did you learn about Egyptians and like Romans?
Yeah.
Like we learned like ancient history, I think in 4th and 5th grade.
I think so too.
Like we like read the Iliad, and by we read, I mean I think our teacher read the Iliad to us.
Yeah. And then because 6th grade for me was the like Greek and Roman gods thing.
See, I think it was 5th grade for me.
Oh yeah, that was 6th grade for me.
But like
we had Toga week. I remember this very specifically.
That was 5th grade. 5th grade for us. But like, so back to the Iditarod thing though, like all the time, probably like once a month, somebody will mention something and reference Zeus or something. Like it's not that crazy.
Like it's history. It's part of history.
Yeah. It's like,
where a lot of like religious things like start from. Like I don't know.
I've never had anybody say to me, hey, nobody's ever said to me the words Iditarod.
When is the Iditarod?
I got no idea. Let me look up it.
Because I'm into it. I just feel like it's not getting like the press.
It gets 0 press.
And so why is it part of our education?
I don't know.
It's like if they were like, hey, we're going to teach you guys about bowling. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring bowling back up, everybody.
Bowling would be way more, it would make more sense for them to teach us the history of bowling.
God, I wish all those bowling haters would know that we went on Sports Center. I wish I could send a push notification to all the people who hated on us for our bowling takes.
Fuck you.
Fuck you guys. We went on ESPN, bitch.
Well, honestly, ESPN actually owns, or they had the PBA.
Yeah.
They would do
I meant the people who were like being like bowling nerds about it. Not actual, because I love actual bowlers.
Yeah, I did right. Like, here's the thing.
It's awesome.
It's 938 miles.
No, it's crazy.
That's so far.
But when is it? Is it once a year?
It can't be doing it more than once. Oh wow, Lance Mackey is the 2010 champion, 6th winner of 4 or more. He's won.
Yeah, I'm a big Lance Mackey guy. So
you're a huge Mack head.
Yeah, huge Mack head.
Dallas CV won last year's one. He completed in 9 days, 2 hours and 16 minutes and 8 seconds.
Like, that's crazy. Why isn't that?
That's it. You're going for.
Why isn't that part of the Winter Olympics?
I mean, that's what they should do.
Like, because it's like while the other sports are happening, they can keep cutting back to the Iditarod.
Yeah, by the way, the Iditarod's still happening.
By the way, this is like with their current standings.
While you're sleeping, they're racing.
Yeah.
I have to assume, so you know how in Alaska, they have that thing, or in certain parts of Alaska, they have the thing where it's like some months are just nighttime and some months are just daytime. I assume it's during the daytime months.
But yeah, I don't know why we learned that in school.
We spend so much time and effort. Like, I feel like we took tests.
Yeah.
And they're like, how many miles is it? 938. I'll never forget
That's like almost as like BS as my 6th grade year.
Yeah, where they talk about Elvis, except.
Yeah, I had a teacher in 6th grade who she was about to retire. Like literally either, I think the year after me, she retired.
Yeah.
And she was also my mom's 6th grade teacher. And so it's like, and she was already like older then. So I was like, girl, time to retire.
Yeah.
And then she had like a knee replacement surgery scheduled for the middle of the school year. So we had a long-term sub.
Perfect.
But she was just dicking around while she did have us. Like literally she set up like a shrine in the corner of the classroom full of her personal Elvis memorabilia.
When we say shrine, what do you mean?
It was like a shrine. It was like books, posters, like dolls. It was like merch. It was like a fucking merch station.
Was there a centerpiece of the shrine?
I don't think there was like a centerpiece. It was just kind of like a display.
Because that's where
Elvis.
Because then I put that more under display than shrine.
Okay.
I think shrine you need to have one like, and it all envelops.
But it's to
the
one
idol.
person.
Yes, but I'm saying like there needs to be this is the representation. This is just me. That's just my shrine opinion.
You don't know nothing about shrines.
Call me a stickler. But that sounds more like a museum display. But continue, please.
But yeah, so she basically just taught us about Elvis because she was obsessed with Elvis, which again, should date her.
Yes.
And she literally was giving us tests on Elvis.
Yeah.
And then guess what? Next year I couldn't do math.
Yeah.
I still can't do math.
I still think that you have a really good case to sue the state of California Education Board.
I know.
But like, even that makes more sense than the Iditarod.
Yeah.
Because you talk about Elvis every now and then.
I guess it's true.
No one talks about the Iditarod. No one does. Why would they put that information? Why do they spend, when you're in 3rd grade, like the reason why I'm like hesitant to learn a language is because they say once you hit a certain age, like once you're like 14, it's like impossible to learn a language.
Yeah.
Once I'm 32, you're just not going to.
Yeah.
You just can't learn it. So why are they spending that time when our brains are like sponges soaking everything up to just fill us with
nonsense,
with a dog race that apparently no one but Dallas and was it the guy Thomas Warner and Ryan Reddington, those are the recent winners, give a shit about. Nobody cares about that. Oh, the only other thought I had was I was thinking today while we were working out, are we the only country where there isn't like pending like certain occupations or certain titles that like require you to wear silly hats? In the UK, the way their legal system works, still to this day, barristers wear the curly white wigs.
Yeah.
Like to this day in 2025.
Yeah, America doesn't have enough silly hats.
I think it's a good thing we don't. But you know what, maybe we don't notice it because like the Green Berets, badass motherfuckers, who wears a beret?
You're right.
Like that is a little bit.
Oui.
And then, then the last one thought I was having today. So today, I first thing I did when I woke up and I checked Twitter to get upset, but I saw this really cool video where it was like, here's how hard it is to be one of the guards at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier.
Oh yeah.
And like to even get considered, you have to go all through these hoops and whatever.
It's a whole thing.
And have you ever seen like the transition of the guard?
Yeah. I've been before just to see it.
The way that they walk,
it's amazing.
It looks like they're floating.
Yeah.
Like it's like their arms are moving they're like robots.
Like breakdancers a little bit.
But so I was thinking today too, I was like,
pulling out that move. They move around their neck.
I was thinking though, because it's like, they're like, I have the gun, they check the gun, they flip it around 50 times, and it's really cool. And then they give the gun to the next guy, and then he stands there for a while.
At what point are they gonna have to shoot someone?
That was my question. What happens if somebody, for whatever reason, tried to assault The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier.
Do you think it's yeah?
Are they like? Would they?
It's go time.
I think they'd hesitate for a second.
I think they would too, because I almost would be like, they seem like such a figure that it's like you almost feel like there's a sniper somewhere else.
Like who's protecting them? They're symbols.
Yeah.
Like, and to become symbols, again, the qualifications, you have to be a deadly motherfucker.
Yeah.
But if you've been doing it for 5 years, you really are just focusing on that cool walk.
Yeah, you're not really like, all right, I'm on my A game today.
Yeah.
Got to really protect the tomb.
Like, I would never want anything to happen.
I would never want anyone to rush them.
I do not, but I do want to.
But I do wonder what happens.
I would love to see. I'd actually be fine as long as it's not like violent or whatever, but just like somebody tries to run through them. What do they do?
I don't know.
Are they going to break character essentially? Be like the Bobbies.
Yeah,
where they're like, they don't smile. What if? I think the Bobbies. I think I've seen them actually.
Every now and then you see them break, but
they are technically guarding.
Yeah.
Like
the castle
and buildings and people. They are the guards. They just wear that stuff and they act in a funny way. But like,
I mean, could that be any less efficient? Like, oh, they need to be guarding something. Let's put a 7-foot hat on them. Okay. So I decided I was going to do a little bit of my take on sports gossip a little bit. I wanted to do a sports activity this week.
Okay, hit me, sister.
Yeah, I'm leading the charge. So I asked
today on a very special sports gossip.
Very special sports gossip.
Michaela.
Well, I wanted to basically like mend our worlds a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
So I asked you who you think is going to be in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
And you said
it's complicated.
But you said like top of your head, Bills and Lions.
In my head right now, I feel like the most likely, and this is not even like the most likely. This is more like my heart. That's what I would predict if I was going to bet.
Yeah. Like just right now where things are.
I think it's Bills Lions.
Bills Lions. And I think it's going to be Lions Chiefs.
Yes.
So I've decided like maybe I just kind of want to see what the universe thinks is going to happen.
Okay.
So I've hired 3 separate tarot card readers off of Etsy.
You did?
To do a tarot card reading for all 3 of those coaches.
Shut the fuck up. Really?
Yeah.
So Andy Reid, Sean McDermott, and Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
So we have, I hope Dan Campbell, he's a listener. Actually, I love Dan Campbell so much. I could see him listening. Because he just got
He would be such a sister.
I would love, God, if this podcast got big enough where it's like, what if Dan Campbell we had like a 3rd chair?
I know.
And you're like, so Dan.
Yeah.
Dan, go on.
But yeah, so I just, keep it as safe as we can because we don't know who's most legit and not. I literally hired 3 separate tarot card readers.
Let's raise the sample size. Yes.
Off of Etsy.
One of them actually can see the future.
Yes.
That's why they work for Etsy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just figured. So which by the way, I felt like I was going to get in trouble for some reason because they were like, give me like your name, your date of birth. And I felt like I was being a fraud, like asking for a tarot card reading on someone else's behalf. Like,
yeah, it's true.
Because I literally was like, Dan, 48. Like,
oh, you wrote, okay, so that's what you did. So you made it up.
Yeah, I was Googling all their information to like give them.
Stop
and
it.
I basically told all these tarot card readings that I am looking for some career insight.
Yes.
Like, can you please read some cards with some career insight?
Okay, so that's the background. You did not say, hey, can you give me these coaches?
No.
You literally pretended
to be.
You cosplayed, you LARPed as
Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell, Sean McDermott, and Andy Reid.
Yeah.
And what did they say?
So let me pull up my laptop because I have to pull up my Etsy.
Oh, I was wondering whether the laptop was on the floor.
Our mutual prediction is that the Lions are going to be in there.
I think so, yeah.
So we'll start with Dan Campbell.
Okay. Do you want me to read it?
Actually, yeah. I kind of do want you to read it.
Psychic Yaya said, hello, I want to thank you for requesting a reading with me. If there's anything I say in this reading that does not make sense, please let me know and I will clarify anything for you. In my shop's announcements, I've stated that my shop's open. Okay, this is just business stuff. I'm picking, and I know this is not ChatGPT because I'm already seeing spelling and grammatical errors.
Ooh, I know one of them was from like Turkey or something like that. So.
That's where witches, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
I'm picking in your career, there's a need for more focus on connections and partnerships. I see more priority needs to be placed on your social circles, especially in your career. I can tie all this to like, right now, just reading that, basically it's saying like, because, he's the head coach, but there's, I don't know, a dozen, maybe more coaches on any NFL team staff. And his their offensive coordinator, the guy who runs the offense, is this guy, Ben Johnson. And it's every year he's the one who's when there's like a coaching vacancy, when a team fires their coach.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, who's going to get hired? Who are they going to hire? And Ben Johnson's the number one every single year, but he's basically been like, no, I'm sticking with the Lions for now.
Yeah.
But this year it's seeming like, no, he's going to take a job with someone else, maybe the Bears. But so this is sort of a thing where it's like, they're saying that make a priority for your social circles. So maybe reach out to Ben, say one more year.
One more year, Ben.
Or look for somebody else, network. It looks like through your partnerships and connections that will open up more opportunities in your career. I'm getting that oftentimes in your career, you're misunderstood by people in your career. English isn't their first language, I don't think. But that makes, again, me believe more. It seems they mistake your silence as you not being open enough at times. He's not very quiet. So, okay. I'm getting by you connecting with people a bit more, it will feel you to advance more in your career. I'm also seeing some kind of hint of mystery.
Ooh.
Lack of clarity and illusion in your career. Everything is not as it seems in your career path. Well, that's not good. That basically is saying like, hey, maybe you're not going to make the Super Bowl. There's uncertainties about the long-term security in your career. Okay, that's really big for coaches.
What if they fire him?
Because, okay.
Yeah.
If maybe they don't make the Super Bowl, maybe they lose the Super Bowl. If next year all of a sudden they just shit the bed, that's not crazy for them to just fire the head coach. The Eagles did that.
Yeah.
Of just like,
God, I hope not.
I know, I hope not too. You have the courage to face challenges head on, and this will serve you well in your career. Embrace your unique qualities and let them shine. He definitely embraces his unique qualities. There's no other coach like him, and he definitely isn't afraid to talk about it. He goes by his gut a lot.
Yeah.
And that's why people love him though, like on the team, because like he believes in us. Let's just fucking get this.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, so Dan Campbell, I'm not hearing...
We're not saying any like immediate...
What I'm seeing here though is they're basically saying he's not going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's a little bit too negative.
Yeah. Like he needs to make some changes before...
Yeah.
But maybe that just means like for the next year.
Yeah.
He's not going to win this year, but.
Okay. Who's up next?
Next we have, what's his name? Sean something?
McDermott.
Sean McDermott. Okay. So we have him. This was also a text reading.
Hello, dear Sean. Firstly, thank you for choosing me. I completed your reading. At this point in your journey, the universe is encouraging you to reflect on your path, align with your deeper passions, and embrace opportunities that resonate with your true self. Your energy suggests a strong foundation of experience and knowledge. That's true. Mm-hmm. Over the years, you've honed skills and gained insights that make you not only competent, but also highly respected in your field. Also true. The Bills have been very good for a while, but there seems to always be just something that kind of gets in the way.
Yeah.
And with the exception of Patrick Mahomes being the thing that gets in the way, which is like what it's been a bunch, they're really good at like the next, whatever is like holding them back this year, they fix it for next year.
Yeah.
So every year it's why it's like, it seems like Josh Allen especially, it's like they're just getting better. However, there's a sense that you might be craving something more.
Maybe a Super Bowl trophy?
Who isn't? Whether it's a shift in focus, a new challenge, or a role that aligns more closely with your personal values and long-term goals, this period of reflection is not about starting over, but about refining your path to ensure it feels fulfilling and aligned. What's interesting too is like, he's a guy who, even though the Bills are so good, they just can't get past Patrick Mahomes. Because of that, every year they're like, yeah, they are going to win the AFC East. They're going to win their division. They're going to win their first round of the playoffs. If he's starting to get to the point where it's like, but if they can't get to the AFC Championship or get to the Super Bowl, they might fire him.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you're great. You're getting us almost there, but we want to get all the way
there.
But I don't know. The energy around you feels supportive of growth and transformation. I mean, the Bills Mafia loves him. Mm-hmm. If you've been considering a career pivot, stepping into a leadership role, or starting something of your own, now is an excellent time to explore those possibilities. Maybe he's like, you know what? I'll stop coaching. I'll be the general manager.
Ooh.
That's happened before. I doubt it will here, but trust.
Who's to say?
Trust in, because they have a really good GM too. Mm. Trust in the wealth of knowledge and experience you've accumulated. These will guide you as you navigate new opportunities. Networking appears to be a key focus. The universe is encouraging you to connect with individuals who inspire and challenge you, whether through professional groups, mentorships, or collaborative projects. I believe Sean McDermott. So there's a thing in the NFL and just, I guess, all sports called coaching tree.
Okay.
Where it's like, because in the NFL especially, like there's the head coach and then the head coach hires all their assistants. Yeah. Over time, those assistants, obviously they get better, they get older, and then they get jobs, a lot of them becoming head coaches for other teams.
Yeah.
And so like, basically they say like, okay, Mike McDonald, whose coaching tree is he part of? He's part of, you can go all the way to or like Kyle Shanahan's coaching tree. And Sean McDermott, I believe, yes. Okay. Sean McDermott is a part of Andy Reid's coaching tree.
Okay.
He was Andy Reid's assistant for like a decade. Dan Campbell was part of Sean Payton, who's also not quite Andy Reid level, but a top 20 coach all time or something. He's part of his coaching tree. So we keep on mentioning like mentorship, and it's like there is like a mentorship factor.
Like there is like a thing there.
And it makes all these keep making me wonder because Bill Belichick's doing college football. Like it wouldn't shock me if it's like they're saying basically it's like talk to Bill Belichick, he'll advise you.
Yeah.
Focus on leveraging your experience, investing in your personal and professional development, and fostering connections that inspire and uplift you. Trust that steps you take now will lead to a more fulfilling and aligned career. I hope my reading brings you light and provides you with guidance. Feel free to contact me anytime if you need anything. Warm regards, Hatis. Now, they're saying feel free to contact me. Would it be $9 per contact?
She said you could ask follow-up questions, but I think if you want a new reading, you'd have to pay again.
Yeah. Interesting. So right now, this is telling me the Bills are better positioned than the Lions.
I think so too. That's kind of what I got.
So if it was Bills versus Lions, Bills win.
Bills, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the last one, I'm trying to figure out how to do. I have headphones. Okay, this girl actually did like a legit reading though.
I'm down to listen to the whole thing. You want?
But she actually did like a tarot card reading, like legit, like she pulled 3 cards.
So what I'm seeing here, for starters, the Four of Wands was the first card I pulled. This is a wonderful card in career. Honestly, it's a wonderful card in any respect or in any context, but in career, it's especially potent.
Okay, so this is already just in the first sentence is predicting the Chiefs are going to win.
Yeah.
Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because this would be Andy Reid's 4th Super Bowl. He'd get his 4th wand.
Oh, shit.
So even just 1 minute in, it's confirmed.
Chiefs are winning.
She's basically saying the Kansas City Chiefs get to have another parade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's listen for a second.
Yeah.
Because this is a card of abundance. This is a card of celebrating that abundance. And it's a card of stability and strength and structure. So I like to tell people to picture the 4 wands of this card as the 4 legs of a table. They are what give the table its structure, right? Its strong foundation.
I'm going to try to skip ahead to the next card.
Go to the next card, yeah.
Next, we come to the 5 of Wands.
Oh, the 5 of
So
Wands.
the 5 of Wands, this is a card of fierce competition and needing to sort of shine above the rest. And especially when this card pops up within any sort of career context, I see it as you may be in a very fierce market. Mm-hmm. You may be in a fierce competitive
I would say so.
I would say this is a fierce competitive job
at this time. Or this can also indicate when we're looking for a job or even when we might be unemployed and we're trying to find that new job, right? And it feels like we're up against the entire world.
Okay, wait. So really quick, just the 5 of Wands.
So we got the 4 and the 5 of Wands.
This is the 4 wands that evoked a 4th Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. The 5 of Wands, if you look further, basically just talking about like the fierce competition. It's like, okay, what competition would somebody like Andy Reid be in? And the answer is he's at this point, I think he's currently the oldest coach in the NFL now that Bill Belichick's retired.
Oh.
He is currently so Bill Belichick,
Doug Dimmadome
retired with 302 regular season wins.
Okay.
As a head coach, which made him the third most. He finished with 302. Ahead of him, there was George Halas had 318, then Don Shula had 328. Andy Reid is currently 4th with 273. But even more than that, this year, if you look at postseason wins, so playoff wins, Bill Belichick has the most with 31. Andy Reid has 26.
Okay.
So if you look further than this year, so say they win the Super Bowl, they'd have to win 3 games to win the Super Bowl. That's 3. And then next year, they would just have to get 2, depending on what happens. Basically, he's 5 wins away from tying.
Okay.
So that's really who his competition is left. If you're looking at like career-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this is very good. This is very good.
T, sister.
T.
Okay. And then the last card is?
The last card I pulled for you today is the Queen of Wands. And this is...
Silly question. In tarot cards, do they all have wands?
No.
This is coincident.
I think we're just getting a lot of wands. I don't think so.
Is it like majority of it have to do, is there just certain, pick a number of wands?
I think we're just getting a lot of wands today.
Okay.
Is such a lovely card because she is a badass. The Queen of Wands.
The Queen of Wands
she
is a badass.
reminds me of, I'm not sure if you recall the old Kool-Aid commercials with the Kool-Aid man busting through the wall. She reminds me of that kind of energy because she is
Queen of
very
Wands reminds you of the Kool-Aid man?
And fiery. She knows.
Okay. So, couple thoughts.
Andy, wait.
Well, there's one. Let's talk about how the Kool-Aid man. Tell me why the Kool-Aid man is similar to Andy Reid.
He's a big man who wears red.
He's a massive man. He's a redhead.
Yeah.
He literally has a red mustache. Although maybe it's white now.
It's kind of good. But yeah, you're
I
right.
think of him as having a red mustache. And he coaches the red team. So Kool-Aid man definitely is an apt analogy for him.
Yeah.
Although I guess where she lost me a little bit is saying that the Kool-Aid man is focused.
He's focused on getting through the wall.
I feel like people who are focused don't go through walls. They're like, if I'm focused, I know a better way.
But he's so focused, he's going to get where he needs to go.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Andy.
Knows what she wants. She's not afraid of getting it. She's not afraid of challenging herself. And she's the type of person who doesn't mind having all eyes on her, no matter the circumstances. So if she is the type of person who's walking down the red carpet and she stumbles and falls, she might do like a somersault or something and then strike a pose. Of
course, just like
she
That's
does
what
not
Avery
care
would
if
do.
everyone watched her fall. She's going to roll with it. She's going to roll with the punches and turn it into a source
roll
of
the
strength
punches. Is
for
this
her.
resonating?
So
He does shit. Okay, so so here's the thing. So this is the Chiefs, okay? And I'd say the Chiefs are probably the most famous NFL team right now, right?
Yeah,
because of Taylor Swift.
They seem to be getting a lot of coverage
because they've won 2 in a row. They're on their way to the 3rd.
We're seeing like Patrick Mahomes is in like every State Farm commercial
Travis
right now.
Kelce's in every other
Mr.
one.
Pfizer,
Andy Reid's in State Farm commercials.
Yeah.
So one of the things that's interesting about them is, and we talked about this before, I think on the show, but basically like when Patrick Mahomes first came about, the Chiefs were really good everywhere, all over the field. They had a okay defense, but they were really good in offense. They had a ton of stuff because Patrick Mahomes had his rookie quarterback contract. Now he's being paid $1 bajillion a year, which eats into their salary cap or whatever. And basically, whenever that happens, really good teams, they'll drop off because it's like, okay, yeah, your team was stacked because you were paying your quarterback $2 million. What happens when your quarterback, which I think $2 million, it's what, like, it's like 1% of your overall, what you're spending on players. Now you're paying him $60 million. So you're going from paying him 1% of what you paid of the whole team's salary to 30%. That's a big drop off.
Yeah.
Every year since the first Super Bowl, every year has been, well, this is going to be a rebuilding year for the Chiefs. And then they win the fucking Super Bowl, or they get to the Super Bowl, or they get to the AFC Championship. And it's like, what the fuck? And the fact that this year, like basically a few seasons ago, they were really, really good. And it's the high flying, how they became so famous. And Patrick Mahomes was so good is because they had Travis Kelce and this really great wide receiver, Tyreek Hill. And then Tyreek Hill had to sign a new contract that was really expensive. And the Chiefs said, you know what, fuck it. We're just going to let him walk. He can leave. And we're just like, what are you serious? Like, Tyreek Hill's like the best wide receiver in the NFL. You're just letting him go? Like, Patrick Mahomes won't be as good. And then they won the Super Bowl the next year.
Yeah.
And it was like, shit. And then this year, they're like, see, they can still win the Super Bowl without Tyreek Hill. They have Travis Kelce. And now Travis Kelce looks kind of fatter and older and like more distracted, doesn't seem nearly as good.
Yeah.
And man, I just had deja vu. I remember literally where I was at this week of last year. I was driving home from Costco in a flood because I remember I was listening to a podcast talking about how, all of a sudden the playoffs are on and now Travis Kelce turns the on button on. But Travis Kelce, like their offense, none of their parts of their team are as good as they were last year.
Yeah.
But they have a better record than they did because they just Andy Reid just sort of figures it out.
Yeah. Interesting.
And that sounds like what the Queen of Wands does.
He does. Andy Reid is so Queen of Wands.
Doesn't matter if he trips, AKA it doesn't matter if the offensive line, if there's major injuries on the offensive line.
He'll figure it out. Just rolls with that.
He's better from it.
Yeah.
So
we're thinking it basically it's probably will be Chiefs versus Bills, maybe.
Well, Chiefs and Bills they're in the same, they can't play against each other because they're in the same conference.
That's stupid. All that should be off when it comes to Super Bowl.
The NBA is kind of changing it. As a sports fan, I kind of like it.
I don't.
Well, so like,
because you want the odds to be up to anyone.
Well, they are to anyone. So when you think about this, like, okay, so the goal of any sports league is at the end to declare this is the best team in the league, right?
Yeah.
So
no, like I get it, but like I'm like,
it just I know what you're saying. Where it's like, no, you want the best two teams to play each other. One, it's kind of hard to do that. Like that's what college football did for the longest time. For most of my life, the national championship for college football was not decided by anything to do. I mean, record was played a part in it, but basically at the end of the year, you did not know who was going to be in the championship.
Yeah,
you knew one of the teams. There was always like one team where it's like everybody agrees Ohio State's going to play in the fucking championship. They were undefeated or they had one loss, and like they're going to be in the championship. But who's the second team?
Yeah,
and they'd be like LSU. And you'd have half the people being like, yeah, that makes sense. And half the people be like, no, it should be fucking Texas. Mm-hmm. Like it was subjective.
Yeah.
And so for football and for other sports, the NBA is kind of getting rid of having the two different divisions thing. But it's like, if you're the best team, it doesn't matter who you play, you'll win.
Yeah. So it'll be Lions Chiefs is what we're getting.
Or maybe the Lions won't make it.
I guess.
Either way, it's saying Chiefs are going to win.
Yeah, Chiefs. I do think.
It just feels.
I was just manifesting Lions.
I mean, how many weeks this year did I complain to you where I'm like, the Chiefs do not look very good, and they just keep on somehow winning
a ton
every week. They never had. That's
why I was like, no, I'm not completely convinced that the NFL is like not scripted, just because
really
it feels really good for the NFL for the Chiefs to keep winning.
Yeah.
So
there is an argument though, I guess, with like in all things in life of the people who succeed, even if it doesn't look like they're dominating, maybe they're purposefully not dominating to reserve themselves a little bit.
Yeah.
Like why waste all the gas?
Yeah.
And then not be as prepared next week if you can just sort of sneak by everybody.
Yeah.
The only reason, honestly, my only doubt against it's the same reason why like the Trump shooting thing, when people were like, that was fake, is I was like, do you realize how ballsy you would have to be like, hit his ear, but don't kill him? That's insane.
You need like a super soldier to do that. Like a super sniper.
And enough people who play in the NFL get paralyzed and concussion and CTE that I think they'd be a little bit less willing to be like, hey, we're all actors. Let's run into each other and almost die 100 times a game.
Yeah.
That just feels like asking a lot.
Or they're stuntmen and stunts go wrong.
They do their own stunts.
It's like WWE.
That's true.
You know?
That's true.
They're doing stunts, they're stuntmen, but it's like, you know what? Nikki Bella's going to break her neck.
Did she ever break her neck?
Either her neck or her back. I
could see that.
She was out and was in a full brace for a while. That was like, I think it was like season 1 or 2 of their reality show, because basically it was like her whole family then to take care of her moves in with John Cena.
He probably loved it.
Yeah, so she was like in a full neck brace, like she's had like neck surgery, like
if you
like it's like stuff does go wrong.
If you had like a neck injury or whatever, and your whole family moved in with us, I would be upset, but not because they moved in with us, but because I'd be like, I can take care of her. Like, I'm not like I'm not like a 7-year-old.
John Cena has affairs to attend to in China. We all know.
Yeah, he's busy. Okay, that makes sense. That does make sense. That makes more sense. But be like, if your whole like, I'm trying to think.
I love the like, oh yeah, John Cena speaks Chinese.
It's a real knock on him.
John Cena should negotiate with TikTok for us, you know?
You joke, but stuff like that happens all the time.
I think the most American moment in history was when John Cena announced that they got Osama bin Laden.
Oh, yeah? No, yeah.
Like in the WWE ring.
Yeah. Well, the only...
That was like, I'll shed a tear. I'm like, that's patriotism to me.
Well, the only problem with that being the most American moment is that there was a really good, literally an identical moment, but because it was during that time of year where there was basically no NBA, NHL, or NFL. So it was just baseball.
Yeah.
And there was only one baseball game.
Oh, yeah.
And it was Mets versus Phillies, and they were rivals, and they hate each other. And they got bin Laden. And there's just a really good, like, kind of short documentary about it where you see the crowd of Mets and Phillies fans start to hug each other. And the best part is that none of the players knew. And so there was a certain moment. Oh, the one pitcher for, I think one of the pitchers, they started chanting USA. And he said, he was thinking, he's like, I have no idea why they're chanting this. Are they like, do they hate me because he's from Canada?
Oh.
And he's like, I thought like maybe
they don't like me.
And then he was like, but what? I don't think they all know I'm from Canada. Like it's not like I'm not that known. Like, Canadian, journeyman pitcher.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some really good patriotic moments of the last, say what you want, last 20 years. There's been a lot.
Yeah, no, there is.
I mean, I still think number one, though, by far, is actually George W. Bush landing a fighter jet himself on an aircraft carrier. And as good as Biden looks in aviators, you can't really beat.
That's so true.
The president of the United States, a man who they do not let drive a car.
Yeah.
They will tackle him before he gets behind the wheel of a car. They let him land a fighter jet.
Yeah.
On an aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
What? And then he got out and he said, mission accomplished. Like, fucking, it's hard to beat that.
That's so true.
It's hard to beat that. Ugh. Or Big Papi after the Boston Marathon bombing when the TV didn't fine him for saying, not in fucking Boston.
Yeah.
That's pretty goddamn American.
Pretty American.
God, America is awesome.
I know. I'm always like, ugh, America. And then there's moments like that where I'm like, hell yeah.
Hell, damn fucking right. So on that patriotic message, signing off from the Public Pool Podcast.
I hope this brought you light.
Good night and good luck. Have you ever seen that movie?
Yeah, I actually watched it in my like first video production class for some reason.
You could have just said, yeah, I've seen it. And I would have said, you watched it in a class, didn't you? Because there's no way. It's in black and white.
I would just toss that on.
It's about the Red Scare in like Hollywood when they were accusing everyone of being communist. Like, it was like, there's just no way my baby would be like, ooh.
Good night and good luck.
Good night and good luck. Starring the guy from 8 Men Out. He's a great actor, really underrated. All right. Love you guys. Towel off. Ciao.
Ciao.